Welcome to the Irrigation Insights Podcast, where we talk about the business of irrigation. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm your co-host, Ben. All right, so I really feel like one of these days we'll get the audio right.
Yeah, we're going to get it right one day. We're two goons in here trying to do a podcast.
Sorry, I was going to hold my breath until you fixed it.
Oh,
Which is never going to happen. So
no. But
in other news, Jacob, who's never played golf in his life, is going to a veterans golf tournament with one of our distributors next Friday.
yeah.
So we'll give him some excitement about that. That's not going to work.
Oh, damn, I'm going to embarrass myself. But there's possibly free alcohol. No promises, is what I was told.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why you need this custom driver cover. It's got our name on it and everything.
Yeah. I need to show up representing, I need to go get some, what do you got, I need to look like John Daly showing up out there with the pants and everything.
Oh, my God,
some,
yeah.
Bright Oakleys.
Yeah, Lawn Sense pants, a freaking, a Truly shirt. The hat that says Only Birdies, but in like the OnlyFans logo style. Only Birdies.
Yeah.
Show up 7 a.m. All right.
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Miller Lite. All right. Where's the first tee and what's the course record?
Yeah. That's the first two questions I'm going to ask. And then I'm going to hit the dirt on the first drive.
Yeah, you're going to break your driver in half on the first hit. There's probably going to be a lot of little noise for me playing with this mic because it's quite annoying.
Yeah, that'll be the first two questions. Where's the first tee? What's course record? Third question, where's the bar? After I break my driver.
Yeah, where's the pro shop?
Yeah.
I'm going to need a new driver right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going to be funny is when you get out there and they're going to be like, all right, you're 130 out. You need an 8-iron. You look in your bag and you're like, I got a 7 and a 9. Is there supposed to be an 8?
Oh man, it's not gonna be good. I don't know why I said yes to this.
I don't know why either. You should have said, all right, I'll go, but we need 2 spots.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I want you to come, but we both can't go now.
Yeah, true. I don't know why you thought that was even remotely a good idea.
Tim suckered me into it, man.
Man, freaking Tim will sucker you into anything. He got me into the Horizon Golf Tournament last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that was, it was cool getting to meet the Rainbird rep, the Hunter rep, and all the reps. There was one hole. Yeah, one of the holes the Rainbird rep was on, and if you hit this specific pin, it was a par 3. If you hit this specific pin that they had on the hole, you won $10,000. And then another one Hunter had, if you made a hole in one, you got a Yeti cooler and you got $15,000 in credit at a distributor.
Dang.
And then the NDS rep was my favorite one because I just worked for you at that time. The NDS one, they had these big giant I'm talking drainage caps the size of this table, huge ones. And they freaking filled it up with ice and filled it up with Jello shots. And it was the first freaking hole that they put us on. It's freaking 10 a.m. We get to the first hole, and they got all these freaking drainage tanks loaded with Jello shots, beer, liquor. And they're like, all right, here's our packet. They give you a packet with all the deals that you get if you buy in bulk from them. And they're like, all right, how many Jello? They hand you that, and they tell you about all their packages. And they're like, all right, how many Jello shots you want? Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You missed out.
I did go. I just hung back at the Remember, I was there in the morning.
Oh, I don't remember you.
Wow.
I remember I remember playing and drinking though. I remember Brian was supposed to be with us, and Brian like he showed up for like 2 minutes, and he like had his laptop. He's like, "Yeah, I don't have time for this shit. Y'all just play without me." And we were like, "Well, how are we supposed to play without a fourth person?" Which was great for us because what it meant was because Brian wasn't there, one of us got to hit an extra time.
Yeah.
Because it was scratch golf, so it was best ball. So we would all hit, and we'd figure out who had the best hit, and we'd let them hit again.
Nice. Yeah.
It was great.
I went just to see y'all off and see Brian. Yeah, and then Brian was busy.
Yeah, Brian's always freaking busy.
Yeah.
Tim was never there. Well, Tim was there for a little bit. I remember that. That was freaking fun. By the time we got to like hole 10, man, everybody was fucking drunk.
Dang.
They were freaking, well, because they started off like, all right, you get a couple free drink tickets. We spent those in like an hour. Those were gone instantly.
Oh, I bet.
And then we were like, shit, we got to start buying our own drinks. And then freaking Tim gets there. And we're sitting there waiting in line for the next hole, and freaking Tim shows up on a golf cart. And he's like, y'all thirsty? He freaking opens the damn cooler, and he's got a whole cooler full of beer. We're just like, oh, I start grabbing it. Filling up the golf bags, man. By the time we got to the end, we were pretty fucked up. And we were waiting on this last team. And I was sitting there looking at Daniel and Chris, and I was like, we're going to get pencil whooped. You watch these. Freaking idiots are going to come in here like freaking 20 under par or some crap. And they did.
Dang.
Everybody accused them of pencil whooping. And then it was funny because they like had all these cool gifts. Like you got a trophy, some gift cards and stuff. And they pretty much told everybody like, hey, only like the top 3 are going to get like an award or something. We were like 5th or 6th, I think. And we just like, all right, well, we're leaving. And then freaking one of the big Horizon guys was like, all right, everybody gets a gift.
Dang, what'd y'all get?
So we had a ticket that was for a raffle. And once the raffle was over, they were like, all right, we're just going to start calling ticket numbers out until we're out of gifts. So everybody ended up getting a gift. Daniel got a $50 gift card to the PGA Superstore. Chris got like a custom golf ball or like a divot tool or something. I don't remember. And I got a hat. I got a golf hat.
Nice.
That said Horizon on it.
What's something?
Yeah, it was something. I have no idea where that hat is. It was very ugly.
Oh.
But that was so much fun. That was a terrible idea. Freaking $50 entry. Everybody's drunk by freaking 11. I'm like, oh, we're never going to make it.
Did we pay for that entry?
I should have made you pay for it. No, I had to pay out of pocket.
Oh.
We each had to pay $50.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think I should have paid for it.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
You really should have been on the golf cart with us because you were the one that needed to actually pay attention to the deals that they were offering.
Yeah, I should have met with it.
That Rainbird mouse pad I got in there, I got that from the Rainbird rep.
That was the day we bought 2 vans. And I remember that morning I was signing paperwork on 2 vans and having them delivered.
Yeah.
Like while I was sitting on the golf cart before everybody took off.
Yeah,
signing stuff on.
I remember that because I got one of those.
Yeah.
I got one of those vans. Yeah, you should have been. That would have been great, man. You should have been there to see what they were offering. They were offering some good stuff. Like, I was sitting down in the lobby when we were waiting for everybody to get done, and the NDS rep picked me out. And I could not get him to get away from me. He spent like 45 minutes talking to me about drainage, how we could better our business offering it as a package deal with stuff, telling me I could get discounts and stuff. And I finally just had to tell him, like, I just work there. I don't have no pull with that. But there was a lot of networking to be done. It was a good thing. I wish you would have been on the golf cart with us.
He might have saw our vans. Or he might have saw our van in the parking lot because our van definitely stuck out there. Most people just had like plain vehicles. There's a couple of stickered vehicles, and then there was like our van.
Yeah. Yeah, I drove my van up there. But
Even Brian, like I remember Brian said that as soon as he came in and saw me, he was like, "Man, y'all's vans look awesome. They stick out like crazy."
yeah. Yeah, he picked me out specifically and was like, "What do y'all do? How do y'all pitch sales? How do y'all offer this? How do y'all do that?" Like picking me apart so he could pitch me drainage.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably saw him. That's the only reason I could think he'd pick you out.
Yeah.
He was probably like looking. Where's this guy at?
Yeah, like where do I want this guy look? Yeah, I see their van, see that this looks like where I want my business to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what we got to talk about today.
Yeah, I do have. I did see some questions on Facebook before we get into that. The one of these questions, something we deal with a lot, especially once you get, once you switch over from time and material to flat rate. There's a lot of videos. A lot of people are going over to flat rate. We are big proponents of it. Kevin Battistoni, he did an interview with me about going to flat rate. He's doing more interviews with other people about switching over to flat rate. He's putting videos out there. And you're going to have this problem once you switch over. And you might have it even with time and material, but I know it's a problem we have. So this guy asked, he said, I had a client try and negotiate the price of a signed proposal after the work is completed. They had no issue with the quality. As per the emails and texts, the discrepancy is in how many hours were spent to complete the job, even though it was a set price. Nothing is time and material mentioned until I sent the invoice for the signed proposal. Or for the sign, yeah. Until he sent the invoice for the amount that was in the signed proposal. And he was saying, like, how do you deal with that respectively?
For the listeners, I just blew my head off 3 times.
Yeah, because
like I'm like
we've dealt with that so many
like
times.
now because you said that, now I have to go get a counselor for like PTSD.
Yeah.
Like now, oh my god.
But we'll probably get that this afternoon now that we're talking about it.
Well, we get it every day, or we get it once a week still.
Yeah, it's just
Somebody, this is how I always dealt with it, and this is how I tell our guys to deal with it. So what I always did, sign the proposal, everything's good, you get almost done, or you get done, and they're like, oh, I want a discount. I'm like, okay, what discount do you want? I'll give you the, pretty much what I tell them is like, look, you've already signed it, and by signing it, you've locked the price in now. So you've already agreed to the work for this price. If you want, I can't give you any discounts on it. The only discount I can give you is we do a $20 review discount if they leave a Google review. I'll tell them I can get you $20 off, but I can't, I can't change the price once you sign it. It locks it in, which, I mean, we both know it doesn't, but, the first thing I want to find out is how firm a ground are you about to stand on here? That's the first thing I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to stand there and are we going to have a stare off in your yard? Or like, if we're going to have a stare off, that's fine, as long as we could get somewhere with it. So the first thing I do is give them what they want, but not exactly what they want. Because I still tell them, like, I can still give you the $20 review discount, but I can't do anything else with the price.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. A lot of times, I feel like they end up paying it and then just call the office too.
I mean, I'll tell them the same thing now. I mean, because I look at that's the cool thing about Service Titan. Like, I don't know what everybody else is using, but we're using Service Titan, and I click on their profile, I click on their signatures, and I'm like, you signed not only the acknowledgement saying that you wanted to have the work that he quoted you performed, and it's even worse when they sign the estimate too, because like Service Titan, we build estimates, they sign the estimate agreeing to the estimate that they like the price for that work. Then they sign the agreement to perform the work at the price that they were estimated. And then they sign the acknowledgement that the work was completed to their standards and that they're going to pay upon recept. And then they sign the freaking thing where they sign for their credit card.
Yeah, there's multiple signatures.
I tell them when they call, and I'm like, I don't understand your issue because you signed every single thing. If you had an issue with it, you should have brought that up before you signed all this. And then I'm looking at, okay, well, what's this invoice amount? Because if this guy just spent, anywhere north of, $1,500 or $1,700, anything north of that, I'll work with him a little bit. Like, what kind of deal are you wanting me to work here? Because you've already paid. But if they've only spent like $500, $800, $200, I'm just going to stand my ground and say you shouldn't have signed the acknowledgement then.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables there.
It's all variables and that's another thing too. Like, and this goes back to, look, I think we say it in every episode now. Like, the less money they spend, the less happy they're going to be. Always.
Yeah.
Always. I've actually had no customer that spent north of $5,000 with us ever call and complain about anything. They're always happy. The only thing I've ever had come back is, hey, they set my timer wrong. That is the only thing.
Yeah.
They're always super happy. They love the business. They love the tech they sent out. They love the stuff that they bought. And it's a good experience. I get 4 or 5 people a week freaking crying over $200. And it's like, I don't care. Why do I care about you?
Yeah, we don't.
That sounds like $200 you shouldn't have even spent in the first place. You should have never called in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I remember talking to a couple. It was a woman and her husband on speaker talking to me about this. It was like $800, and they were mad. It was this whole deal, and they had signed everything, and I pretty much got them, and they're like, I was like, well, if y'all had a problem with the price, why did you sign off on it? And they're like, well, we didn't have a problem with the price, but it don't until it only took them 2 hours to do. So I was like, so let me just clear this up. So if it would have taken them 4 hours or 5, you wouldn't have a problem with the price. You're just only upset because it took them 2 hours. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, well, we don't charge by the hour. We charge flat rate. And I pretty much just told them, I sent one of my best guys out there. He can get it done in 2 hours. I could have sent one of my new guys out there. It might have taken him 4 or 5, but we're not going to
take it 2 days.
Yeah. I said, this is just how it is. And they kind of understood. And I said, if we do hourly, and I send a new guy out there, we're incentivizing all the wrong things. And I explained all this to them. I just said, I send a new guy out there and we charge hourly. He ends up charging you more. He takes a long time. It just drags on, and we're incentivizing all the wrong things. With a flat rate, it's what the price is. We can get in, out, and get you your day back. And they're like, yeah, I get that, but now we're kind of getting screwed because it's $800 and you only took 2 hours. So I'm like, well, you're not really getting screwed. We told you the price, and that is what it is no matter how long it takes. And they're like, yeah, well, it just doesn't feel right. And I was like, well, I'm sorry. It is what it is,
Yeah, there's no changing. If that's what you're worried about is time, just, we'll go ahead and call this one a wash, but next time you need something, I'm gonna put a little thing in your customer profile, and I'm gonna freaking send Shay out there, and I'm gonna tell him to charge you by the hour and just freaking sit out there and smoke cigarettes in your yard every time he wants to take a break.
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Yeah.
I'll send somebody out there that'll do it for hourly. Tell him hey, I want you to go out there, whatever it is, charge. I'll give you an hourly rate, charge by the hour. Every time you take a break, I want you to sit down right in their driveway, smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, I think I have told somebody before, well, next time, I can send one of our new guys, and it'll probably take them twice as long if that's what you'd like.
Yeah, I can send him out there. He can take his time and do the same thing. If you got something to do at 6 o'clock, oh well. If he's still there, you got to stay. If he's got to come back tomorrow and you got stuff to do, sorry, he's coming back tomorrow to do it. What do you want here?
Yeah, you're paying. Yeah, you just gotta tell them politely. It's a flat rate, no matter how long it takes, is what it is. The whole goal is to get in and get out, get you your day back.
Yeah, and I always tell like, because a lot of business owners also think too like they don't want to go to flat rate because it feels like screwing them or screwing people, and they always get upset like when the customer wants to like haggle you about what they think your service is worth or what they think you're worth, and I'm like, I'm just thinking about how like every time I've ever went to like the mall or someplace or like maybe outside of a car dealership, but like a mall or like a place where you go and buy like freaking Nike tennis shoes, Oakleys. I mean, you go in there, the only way you're getting a discount on anything is if you got some kind of mail-in coupon or you're on like some type of membership where they give you a discount. Like, you don't see people going in there to buy like stuff like that, and they're like, I just don't feel like this is worth this.
No.
Like, what makes, and you know why they don't? Because they don't, one, they don't know what it's worth. Two, they know they're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and there's some high-end stores out there. Go into freaking.
And so you got two options. And so you got two options in this business, right? You can tell them, hey, screw you. No, I'm not doing anything for you. And then eventually they'll figure it out with you that you're not giving them a discount, which is not really the best thing to do. So because you'll lose that customer, or some people just specifically won't go with you because you're not going to give them a discount. Like, we've seen that before. I had a guy spend up north of $4,000 with me, and the only reason he did it is because I gave him a 10% discount. Like, that's all he wanted was just some discount. I was like, he kept haggling me for a discount. I'm like, what kind of discount do you want? He was like, I just want to get some discount where I feel like I'm getting somewhere with you. I was like, okay, well, I'll give you a 10% teacher discount. Okay, signed it right there. Like, he just wanted something. So the second route you can take is the route. The other reason they don't argue is because they don't know what it's worth. So the problem is in this business, they think they know what things are worth. And what you got to do is sit there and figure out if this customer is worth your time to try to convert by educating them on why it's worth that much money.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes down to, like, who do you want to talk to? Which is what I was talking about. Guy's calling in about $300. No. You're not getting your $300 back. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
Go away. Go call, somebody in a freaking shit brown Ford Ranger to come do it. Like, we're not doing this.
Yeah. No.
But if they've spent a decent amount of money, I'm like, okay, well, you're a good customer. You spend a decent amount of money with us. I'll work with you some.
Yeah.
Or you're going to spend a little bit amount of money. I'm working with you. And I love it when they always say, oh, I'm going to give you referrals. No, you're not.
Yeah, no, you're not. I've heard that.
There's a reason we have Google. Like, we can't depend on you.
Yeah, that's like the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah,
really. You help me out, I'll send you a bunch of business.
Oh yeah.
You send me a bunch of business, and then
I don't think any person that said that to me has ever sent anybody.
Yeah. Well, now we have that referral program, so we can just be like, oh, well, we have a referral program, so you just pay this price, and then for every person you refer, you can get $50 back.
Yeah, like, we're not playing this whole like,
yeah.
Ooh, I got a lot of friends. Like, no, you don't. I can already tell in the first 5 minutes of meeting you, you don't have no friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends with you either.
Yeah.
I don't even want to work with you, but if you're willing to spend money, I'll work with anybody.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out what it's worth, really. Like, is it worth arguing with the customer? But yeah, to answer that guy's question, if they've already signed it, that's kind of like, there's really not a clean-cut answer for that, because you got to take that person by person, If you're doing a freaking sprinkler head change at a service fee and whatever you charge for a sprinkler head, and he comes to you after he signed it and says, oh, I want to work on the price, I would flat look at him and say, no.
Yeah, absolutely not.
You pay this, or I'm going to leave the property right now.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like a smart controller, or you're doing a backflow, or you're doing a decent amount of work, like, all right, well, what do you mean work on the price?
Yeah, and you also lose leverage. Like he mentioned, I sent the invoice. Don't send invoices.
Yeah.
Collect on site, because you lose leverage. Like if you're going to send the invoice and leave, like when did you send the invoice? That day? Like as soon as you leave and send the invoice, you've lost leverage. As soon as you're done, go collect your money because you've lost all the leverage. Go get your money. If they want to negotiate with you, you can try it. They can try it face to face, and you can tell them no, or I mean, maybe I take $50 off depending on if, what the total thing is, but you get your money right then. And then if they want to call back that afternoon and say, well, I just don't think this is right, now you have the power because you already got the money.
Yeah.
I prefer that style of negotiating where we've already gotten paid. And
I already told him that we're in a podcast. I don't know why he's calling.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, once you've already gotten paid, they can call in and say, well, I don't feel this is right. And you can say, well, you've already signed, you agreed to it, you signed off on it. I don't know. Sorry. Make sure you get paid. Don't send invoices. Take care of yourself first.
What you got there?
This?
That looks like a freaking paragraph. That looks like a high school breakup text from here.
Yeah, this was a guy. I don't know if you want to get into that one, or if that one wasn't from the irrigation group.
Well, let's jump into what we talked. We'll save that one for next time.
We got this other deal. We're gonna not name any names. We got this business here. Got a guy. He's got an irrigation business. He's got a couple technicians. I don't remember how many technicians he has. I know he's actively hiring. Write that down. I'm making a couple notes. We'll see. We're going to kind of go through what we think needs to be improved, how we can help him fix it, things that we think he might be doing wrong, or things that could be improved, and just talk about what he's got going on here. I know this guy's actively hiring. I'm going to write that down. Yeah, so we got this guy here. He's got a couple technicians. I don't know how many he has. I'm pretty sure he has a CSR. Do you know?
Man, you know more than I do.
All right.
I don't know anything about this guy.
Well, all right. I thought you knew a little bit. Okay.
No, he wasn't my friend.
Okay, so we got this guy. Got a little irrigation business going. And he's definitely had some struggles. And we'll just kind of go through the list. I know he struggled with several things. I mean, his hiring process. He's definitely struggled with technicians. He's had problems with technicians taking vans to places they shouldn't be.
I remember that hearing that story.
He's even put trackers on the vans and found, even with trackers on the vans, he's looked them up and seen them all over the place.
At the strip club.
Yeah, just places they should not be. So that ain't good. I mean, when you start hiring people, your hiring process has got to be dialed in. I feel like we've gotten pretty good at dialing in our.
I guarantee you that guy had some previous experience, and this is what I don't like about people with previous experience. And really, you got to pay attention to it to anybody you hire, right? The first thing you got to figure out in the interview process, or the first thing I want to figure out is, why are you looking for a job?
Yeah, well, you're probably onto something because this particular guy reached out to me the other day and asked me if we knew anybody looking for work. And I said, man, anybody that we knew looking for work, we would already hired. He was like, yeah, I get it. And I said, we were talking and he was like, I need to hire somebody right now that's got 2-3 years experience. And I was like, we don't do that.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
I said, very rarely will we do that. He was like, well, just hiring, training people from the ground up costs a lot of money and it takes a long time. And I was like, yeah, but it's worth it. And he was like, yeah, I just don't want to go that route.
You can continue to look forward to failures.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that, but I'm just kind of like, that's what you're going to get. People taking your vans to the strip club. You're going to get weirdos that yeah, like you said, why are you?
Why are you looking for a job?
Yeah.
Is it because you didn't like where you were, or is it because the place that you were didn't like you?
Yeah, that's typically what it is.
Yeah, anybody that's ever come in here with experience, except for one person, has like, oh yeah, I got all this experience. I've done this, I've done that. They're here 3 days, and I'm like, out, go away. You're fired.
Yeah, you're
I'm
done.
done with you right now.
Yeah, and it's one thing if they have experience and they actually still have a job and they're just coming to you like, well, I got a job. I'm
Well, that's different.
opening
When
up
they-
my options. I'm looking
Yeah.
around. I'm not really happy over here. That's one thing. But if they have experience and don't have a job, like, oh, something, I just quit. I just quit over there. It wasn't really going well, so I just quit.
Yeah, and then you
Big
call
red
their
flag.
referral number, and they're like, oh yeah, that guy showed up late 20 times in a row, drunk,
Yeah.
wrecked the vehicle, customer complaints. Like, we had a guy, he called in and he was like, hey, I got all this experience. You look like a great company to work for. I bring him in for a ride along. He calls me and he's like, hey, I'm doing a ride along and this guy's making me replace heads. Like, I already know what I'm doing. I'm ready to go to work. Just send me to work now. Just good. Give me a vehicle. I'm ready to go to work. I'm like, no, you're fired.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you. Arrogance, no. We don't even have to go down the list. Like, we're going to stop at arrogance and no, goodbye.
Yeah. Out.
Like,
That was
literally.
like 2 hours into it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even 2 hours. It was like 1 hour.
Yeah.
He was like, I already know what I'm doing. Send me out. I'm like, no, this is not. I don't know who you've been working for, but it ain't going to be us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be a big problem. You got to get your hiring process out and know who you're going to look for. Yeah, sticking to the people with experience, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. The only way that you're going to make somebody with experience work is if you find somebody that's already working somewhere, has been working somewhere, and you offer them a better opportunity than what they got. Then you might have a decent shot. But if you're hiring somebody that ain't got a job, that's got experience, you need to like put a microscope on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's a reason that he needs a job.
Yeah. And then, even past that, we look for attitude. Who has a good who's motivated, who's hungry, who has a good attitude, who's willing to learn, who's positive, who's
Like I've already done this name drop, so I'm gonna do it anyway. When Ben sent that guy over here to me, and he was like, "Hey, this guy's been working with me for 3 months. Every time I send him out by himself, he just closes out a service fee, and I get people complaining that he didn't fix anything." And I'm like, "All right, send him over here. I'll take a look at him." He rides with me for a day, doesn't know how to use a multimeter, doesn't know how to use threaded 90s, doesn't really know how to locate valves. I called Ben at the end of the day. I was like, this guy needs to go. If he ain't learned how to use a multimeter in 3 months, like, I know you're not the best trainer. I know you're busy, but this guy's, quote unquote, this guy's stupid.
yeah.
This guy is not going to help you. This guy is only going to cost you money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, talking about hiring process, that guy was a trucker that got fired. and
the most unneeded motivational job ever. You show up, you drive. That's it.
Yeah, he was a trucker that got fired and just needed to make money until he could he had to wait like a certain amount of time before he could go start driving trucks again, I think.
Yeah. So he's just like filling a hole.
Doesn't care.
At first I think me and Ben both kind of thought that he was like milking him for money, which he very easily could have been. I don't know if he was or wasn't doing that. I could see it happening, but I don't know. When he got to my truck, I was like, man, this guy really is dumb. Like, he doesn't know anything. Like, I pretty much told Ben, like, this guy, I feel like this guy, like, this is his first day. And you're telling me you've been sending him on his own?
Yeah.
That's man, you got to be careful. You got to be careful in your hiring process. Got to be careful in your training process. You got to be picky.
You do got to be picky. Yeah,
We had somebody come over from Andy's that, he was like, "Oh, well, I left Andy's because it's all corporate now and I didn't like it." Well, what you didn't like is you kept showing up late. I already know because he kept telling me like, "Hey, I got this going on. I'll be there this afternoon." Doesn't show up. I think in the 3 days that he was supposed to show up, he showed up for 1. And then by that 4th time, I was like, just don't even worry about it. Just go find another job. Like, I don't want you.
Yeah, I'd already made up my mind. I didn't want him. I was just curious to see, like, out of the first 3 days, how. Because he was late the first day, like by an hour and a half. And then the second day, in the morning, yeah. Oh, I got something to do this morning. I'll come this afternoon. Didn't show up. The next day, I think, was the same thing. I got something. It's like, just don't come back.
Yeah, like don't.
That's why you not. That's why you don't have a job.
Yeah, no shit.
It's
And when he was there, he was just arrogant the whole time.
He was arrogant. Yeah,
Exactly.
but man, dude, he would have been good. Like if he would have been on time and just eager to work, he would have been good.
Yeah,
But
we don't have no place for arrogance. You know, if you feel like you've earned something, I don't want you.
yeah, but we got to hire on the things that we can't train, which is like motivation, confidence, positive attitude. That's what we got to hire for.
You can give anybody anything you need in this business except for those few things.
Yeah, that's what we've learned. People that are negative and unmotivated and all that stuff, they're going to stay that way.
What's your poster in there say? Take 0 talent, show up on time, be positive.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other things. It takes 0 talent.
Yeah. So that's what we might interview 10 people before we hire one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll bring 4 people in to train and only hire one.
Yeah, only one of them will make it.
Yeah. And we'll just keep doing that. We talked about this before. I'd rather have a team of 5 killers than 15 mediocre divas.
Yeah. They'll probably make the same amount of money.
Yeah, for sure. 5 killers will outperform 15 mediocre losers.
Yeah. Yeah.
All day.
Yeah. And then the really funny thing is, it's like, you might not even know that you have mediocre people until you start getting some like real good people in there. You're like, then you start seeing where all your holes are.
Yeah, no doubt. I
wish we could do something about his hiring process. This is not going to work. Like,
well, I told him, I was like, dude, he said, I'm looking for somebody 2-3 years experience. I was like, good luck, man. That's tough. I said, you're looking for something that's rare.
oh, we could have sent him somebody. All right.
Yeah.
He'd love that.
I wonder who you're thinking about.
Yeah, there's a reason why he don't work with us no more.
Oh, yeah.
That would
actually, I kind of did think about that.
Yeah, that's okay though. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, you're looking for like somebody with that experience. You're gonna have to recruit them people. You have to go out and find them, offer them a good opportunity if that's all you're looking for.
Yeah, it's like trying to find water in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Yeah,
better start walking.
Yeah.
What's the next thing on there?
Next thing on there, I know this guy stocks weird. He has overstock in his vans, stocks weird stuff. I've looked in his vans. I've been in there. We go in there and he's got 2-inch slip fixes, 2-inch couplings, 2-inch 90s, 2-inch 4-way fitting.
Yeah, like some of that stuff, like
1.5 4-way fitting, like all of the craziest things you'll never use, filling the whole van up.
Yeah, just wasted money, wasted time.
Yeah, and you're just like, how much money did you spend on
just stocking this truck?
Yeah, like why is this even in here?
Yeah.
You should, I don't know, just stock the van with what you need, what you absolutely need to run day to day. If you need a freaking 2-inch 4-way, 1, that's a bad day, and 2, just buy that as you need it.
Yeah, go get that. Don't buy 15 of them.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It looks like he had just went in there and bought a whole box of everything.
I can't even imagine how much money that was.
Yeah, just for one vehicle. Just stuff it all in a little van.
Yeah, and you couple that with, I knew like roughly how much his technicians were producing each month. He didn't really have a great sales process. So when you couple overstocking, no organization, overspending on stock with not a good sales process, that doesn't mix, man. And then, and you start coupling when you start coupling all this together, a bad hiring process, you got unreliable technicians running around, probably doing taking their vans to places they're not supposed to be, might be filling up their personal vehicles with a gas card, stocking weird stuff, overspending there, don't have a good sales process, not making as much money as they could. Now, this stuff's starting to compound on each other.
Nobody at this business has ever drove one of the vans to a bar. Never.
Never.
Yeah, never.
I'm going to leave it there.
Never, ever been to a strip club.
It better not have been to a strip club. I think you picked somebody up from a strip club once.
Yeah, but I was in my own vehicle.
Okay, good.
I told, which sucked because I was right over there in the freaking van when I got the call, and I was like, no, I can't. I can see this phone. I can see me getting this phone call tomorrow. Like, can I ask why my van was at a strip club? Let me come sit down and talk to you. It's a long story.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good look.
Yeah. No, I was like, all right, I told him, I was like, I'll come get you. I'm only like 10 minutes away from you right now, but I got to go all the way back to my house because I can't drive this up there.
Yeah.
I can't just pull up front row at a strip club and come pick you up in my freaking van.
Yeah.
It's fully wrapped with a QR code on the back of it. Like, it's not going to look good.
Not good. Yeah. Yeah, this stuff starts to compound on each other. Yeah. Probably no training, too. It's amazing how many companies don't train regularly.
Yeah, and you got to think, too, like, that's a decision that I made without hesitation. Like, can you trust everybody to make that decision? And the answer should be no. As far as doing the right things with the vehicles.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because a lot of times you're hiring people you don't know nothing about.
I mean, I would hope everybody would make the right decision.
No, but you can't assume that.
You can't assume it. Well, they should. I mean, I think if you have a good culture, you set them up right, they'll make the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, once you get there. But, like, when you're starting out, like, you don't know who you're getting.
Yeah, well.
More often than not, when you're first starting out, you're looking for straws to grab. Like, I need somebody. You don't know who you're going to get.
Well, there's that saying that people do what you inspect, not what you expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, trust me, I know. Learned that the hard way in the last month.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to watch that.
Freaking idling the vans all day.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to work on that. Yeah, I mean, really, all this, there's probably more that we don't even know about, we weren't told about, but hiring process, overstocking, no sales process, no training. I'm sure there's no, like, real training, no consistent training, which I think is made.
No, when you're trying to hire somebody with 2 to 3 years experience, you don't have no training. You're just like, all right, you come in I guarantee you it goes just like this. You come in one day, kind of like somebody did for me. All right, here's the software we use. Here's the truck. Here's the gas card. Have fun. Have fun. Make me money.
Yeah.
It goes something like that. You get in this van, you got all this crap in it, you got a credit card, and you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
God, and that's so terrible when you think about it.
Yeah. But it would be better just doing that with somebody that has 3 years worth of experience. It's bad. It was pretty bad to, like, walk onto the job site and be like, all right, here you go. This is what you're doing. See ya. Like, what do I do with this? Oh, God. So many days of flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been there. But, I mean, consistent training, I'm just saying, like, if I was going to, this is kind of what we're getting at. It's like, what will we do different now? Nothing.
Well, I think you need to highlight, too, that, you know, what you're saying about companies and training programs, that, like, most companies either don't have a training department or it gets dissolved because it costs too much money. Like, you got to find, like, a middle ground. Like, you can't just you can't be telling these guys to have just a dictated like training department. Like you got to have some kind of type of program set in place that's connected with something else.
Well, yeah, that's what we're looking into. A lot of the big companies did do big training departments, and I think they're closing them down now. That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
They're shutting them down. And we're not going to set up a full-fledged. I don't have any plans to set up a full-fledged training department.
No,
But we're going to train every chance we can, and we're going to make it work. We're going to figure out ways to train cheaply, where it doesn't cost a whole lot. We don't have to have a whole 6-figure training like university style setup. There's no reason for that.
it costs too much money. It takes too much time. We don't have time for that.
Yeah, training department was training like multiple staff on a training. I mean, it is cool, because those big companies can hire 12 people a month, but 50 people like A1, Tommy Mello, A1 Garage, they're hiring like 50 people a month across the country, flying them in. They hire somebody in Minnesota, they fly you out to Arizona, put you up in a hotel or an apartment, and you stay in Arizona until you're done training, go back out to your branch in Minnesota and work out there.
Yeah, we actually we went to pick up a treatment truck for our treatment division, and we noticed that they branched into Oklahoma. We got to see one of those trucks in person.
That was cool.
At a branch, at a little bitty branch.
Little bitty.
Yeah.
Looks like nobody was there.
Hey, everybody starts somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that freaking junk place you made us start out of.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Freaking rats everywhere. Dusting.
No water.
Yeah, no water. No lights, really. The train.
There was some lights.
The little office area was like dark, and gloomy. There was random furniture everywhere.
No, the shop was way nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember Michael saying that your version of training when you first started this business was, Jacob just had me and Clint watch YouTube videos for 2 weeks and sent us out.
Well, I did do a lot of YouTube videos, but Michael got to train with Jared. You got to ride with Jared
that's
for a
right.
while.
That's right, yeah. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where they got most of their bad ideas from.
Yeah, Jared was a killer, though, man. Jared, and that's what's crazy about this is freaking Jared's a killer. Jared's a killer in sales.
So was Ben.
Yeah, that's true. People get busy. But yeah, a good training department. Another thing with this guy's business, small amount of reviews, infrequent reviews. When we looked at that, it was like 1 this week, like 2 or 3 last week, 2 or 3 the week before, which sounds like a lot, but there was only like 100 in total. Very generic replies, like, "Oh, thanks for the support." That was it. Thanks for the support. Over and over again. I would definitely focus on reviews. That was always something I've focused heavy on. That's always been a top priority of mine. Because back to what we were talking about with them people that sign off on estimates and then want to complain about it after. When you have a lot of reviews, you got a lot of power. When you have 100 reviews, it takes like 25 reviews or something, 27, 28 reviews, 5 stars to make up for every 1 star. So everyone, you don't really, when you have 100 reviews, 3 1 stars
Are meaningless.
Huh?
Well,
if you have
100, I thought you said 1,000.
No,
okay.
if you got 100 1 stars, if you get 1, 2, 3 1 stars, you can go from a 4.9 to like a 4.5 quick, very fast. You get 1,000.
Those 3 are meaningless.
Yeah, they mean nothing. You get 1,000 5 stars. It's like, who cares? So, I mean, you try to fix it with them. Obviously, you don't want to just let them do that. But at the same time, somebody signs off on $300 and they're like, well, I still think that was too much. It only took you an hour. Yeah, well, whatever, dude. Shouldn't have signed it.
Shouldn't have signed it. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of how I feel about it now.
Yeah. We might give you like, might could do like a very small amount, very small, like 5% off. But if that's not good enough, then oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of issues we've dealt with over the years with people in general.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, if I was this guy, I would sacrifice. I don't know how long we've been going, but I would sacrifice a little time and stop looking for people with experience and just because he's got all the knowledge. I mean, he's got the sales knowledge, he's got the work knowledge, he knows everything. So
the reason that he has all these problems is because he doesn't have time to fix them.
Yeah, he doesn't have time.
When you don't set aside time to fix issues, they're never going to get fixed. People don't understand, like I've known people that have done this. When you're running a business, like everybody just sees like the people that are running like roofing companies and stuff, like they're just driving around in like $150,000 trucks with like $200,000 boat, big ass house, and they're just like, oh, I want to do that. They don't want to they don't understand that like running a business is like it's more than a career. It's your life, and all they see is those guys doing that. And like they get in it, they just want it to like fly by itself, so they don't have to do nothing, and they think they can like pair it with all these other things. It's just not how it works. Everybody wants to if you ask everyone in America, they all want to be a millionaire. But if you ask them if they're willing to do what it takes and you tell them what it is that they're going to have to do, they're not going to do it. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but can everybody be a millionaire? The answer is no. And the only things holding them back are themselves.
Yeah, I was going to say, can everybody? Probably. Are they willing to? No.
Yeah. And not everybody is willing to run a business.
That might be this guy's problem because I think he has another job also, but he's not. He might not be willing to.
You don't have when you're trying to. That's the thing is like when you're trying to run a business, like you have to make sacrifices. The sacrifice a lot of times has to be your own personal finances and your own personal time.
Yeah, you can't be running a separate job if you just quit that other job and say, I'm going to go get in the field. I'm going to train some guys from the ground up. I'm going to put 2 years out there, and I'm going to put one killer in the field, and then I'm going to put a second killer in the field.
Yeah, you don't have time to be like, all right, I'm going to do some office work, from like 10 till like 1, and then I got to do all this. I got to go like freaking go to my other job, or like I got to go do this, go do that. Like, no, you don't have time for that.
Yeah, and then I still like to watch TV from like 7 to 9. And
still like to play video games. Still like to do this. You don't have time for that.
Oh, my God. Like, I got to be off at 5 p.m.
Yeah, like, I got to be somewhere. Like, no. When you start a business, you're starting a legacy, and if you want it to actually do something, it's going to consume you.
Yeah.
This is all like half-effort stuff. This is the stuff you get when you're minimal effort, maximum results.
Yeah, it really is. That's a great way to boil it down because he's trying to skip, like with the hiring stuff, he's trying to skip training. He's trying to skip. He just wants to hire somebody who's like perfect and he can just sit out there and make money.
He wants a business that can make him money and he don't have to do nothing. And you can achieve that. But it's not going to be a very big one. It's not going to be an amazing one. And you can still achieve it if you really take the time. But like, it's not going to happen within like a couple years. It's just not.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, he's trying to jump like 10 years into the process. He's trying to go from like 0 to 10 years in.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not going to work.
It's like, it takes a long time.
Yeah. Like running a business is like, That's your life. You just started a life.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks like, oh, I'm gonna go. People that are lazy. It's funny because like you'll hear the laziest people in the world. They'll be like, you know what? I'm tired of working for people. I'm gonna start my own business, and that's just an avenue to say that they're lazy and they don't want to do nothing. Because that person goes out, tries to start a business, minimal effort, maximum results, and what they never can figure out is they never can realize that the minimal effort that they're putting in is giving them no results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're always just like, yeah, well, I tried to do this, it just didn't work. Didn't work out for some reason. Everybody they just want to like throw the minimum in there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where he is.
We know a lot of people like that, but we've hit our hour. In case you were wondering.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see your phone blowing up. You got like what, 4 people to call back?
6.
Ouch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll cut it off.
Yeah.
We're squeezing one in.
Yeah. Send us questions. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Send it to your friends. That's the only way we can keep this thing growing.
I see some of y'all freaking trolling on the Facebook group. I'm watching.
Ha. Yeah. Yeah. Send it to your friends. That's how we keep this thing growing. We don't advertise. We don't spend any money on this. We're just trying to help the industry out.
Yep. All right. Well, we will catch y'all on the next one.
See ya.
See ya.